that message spread, or I can spread it myself if you like. Whatever you like. I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that.
Samurai says, "Hey guys, MSM personality Joe Warmington retweet my tweet about live stream. This is what democracy looks like."
It will be clear in the streetcar line.
Thank you for signing up.
Thank you for signing up.
Come over and say yourself.
Come over and say it themselves. Oh, the mic's on. Again, appreciate the protest. We appreciate the protest. What you're trying to accomplish. The validity of your opinions. And concerns. We respect that. You have a right to protest. As much as we support that, we also have a duty to the other citizens of the city
All five of them.
who rely on this particular piece of roadway.
All two of them.
I invite you to continue your protest here on the sidewalk, allowing the streetcars to pass freely and safely, or to take your protest just a short distance away to University Avenue where there's a parkette that was also suggested to, too much. The University Parkette suggestion that came from this group. So this is what I'm communicating to you.
I have a question.
I want to stay on the topic of moving off the street right now. I'll be happy to continue talking about that with you on the side.
Point of information. We were about to break right.
Yeah.
Ceremony.
Section C.
This is not a 24-hour line.
What is it?
And I'm pretty sure the last streetcar is going to go by, or would go by. I'm pretty sure the last streetcar would go by in like 15 minutes to maybe 45 minutes tops.
45 minutes tops.
So, it makes no sense.
I am cuteness.
To clear the street.
Of course, we're repeating what he's saying. Just want everybody to hear it.
We can rehash this around 5:45 or 6, whatever the next one for tomorrow comes by.
Let me be clear. I want to be clear. As much as I am trying to assist you with your protest, this streetcar line will be open. Okay?
So let's go to college headquarters, police headquarters.
It's closed.
Irrelevant. This streetcar line is going to be
You
open.
just made your main case that we're going to be blocking the fellow citizens that you just admitted aren't coming.
This streetcar
You know
line.
what stupidity sounds like.
Really?
I don't
Watch
agree
the
with
live
that.
stream video from 5 seconds ago.
Okay, thank you so much. This streetcar line, this roadway, if you want to change it slightly to facilitate your argument, or defacilitate it, is going to be open in the next 15 minutes or so. Okay, now I'm trying to accomplish this in the most peaceful, reasonable fashion.
Why?
Because this is a city street that does not belong to this,
So
only this
so the streetcar, and right now the streetcar.
You know what? What I came here to do is tell you that, not to debate it with you. Okay, so I'm going to step back, give you time to organize yourselves.
Or give you time to set up DPS.
Why
Okay?
can't people go down this street or that one right there?
As I said, we created a space for you over here, and you can also go to University
100
Avenue.
meters of roadway.
I'm not going to debate the matter. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Mike,
Brother.
Sir, I have a question.
Sir, I have a question.
Which you did not answer before.
Which you
did
did
not answer before. What would it take? To have these officers that hurt our friends,
Excuse me.
be subjected to an internal investigation?
What it would take is a complaint received by a member of the public. That's all it takes to commence an investigation. I hope that answers your question.
Can this assembly be considered enough of a complaint?
Of course.
Mic check!
Now, excuse me, I know you have a mic check.
15 minutes. We don't move on in 15 minutes. Will you arrest us all?
I would rather not come to that.
Okay, people, ATF's coming.
This roadway is going to be cleared, and it's going to be cleared tonight.
What's the answer?
By any means necessary is what you're saying?
Police officers will use as much force as is necessary.
Kindness. That's kindness.
Handcuffed? What?
Well, I think you'll agree that not much has been used. I'm not going to debate the matter.
All right, car.
Is what?
On the sides of the tracks.
You can come off the roadway, and you can continue your protest off the roadway.
Oh, no, we won't go.
You come over off the streetcar tracks.
My check!
Clear the streetcar tracks.
My check! Let's hear now, finish what he's saying.
Keep going.
We can do that. We'll put some barricades right
On
here.
both sides, so we cover, there's no traffic, just public traffic.
You know, we don't want to split and divide the group, right?
We're
So we can accommodate you to some degree. We'll get some barricades here. Is that agreeable to the group?
What?
Well, again, agreed on. Talk about it for a few minutes, but we don't have all night. I'll be honest with you.
But how about both sides? Would that be okay with you?
There you have it, live stream.
Both sides, apparently, it's not. You're gonna have to discuss it with your group because I'm getting different suggestions that are agreeable to some but not others.
Just the train tracks. I still want to know how your officers know my first name.
Are you kidding me? After all of that, make nice crap. Yeah. Throw a threat in there, why not?
I think that
That's
the
what happened.
police,
Up to this point,
have been decent.
no.
They have dialogue with us. Even though some of us might not think that it has been sincere. Some of us might not be sincere. But they have not beat us up yet.
They have not beat us up yet. Yes.
And there is a possibility. That they might. So they're only asking us to move to the side where there is no train track.
They're asking us to be intimidated on the face of violence.
And
That is what they're asking. Let's say what it is.
No,
We won't go. If we're going to do it, okay, but we're doing it because they're threatening us with violence. Not because they've been nice, but because they're threatening us. Quick question.
Yes.
They're not trying to work with us now. They're just trying to
Did the officer just say that because of our protest here, that there will be an internal investigation on these officers?
Okay.
No, there won't. No, there is. It's minimal.
He said that I asked him if this protest was enough of a cause to open an investigation or enough of a complaint to be an investigation. And he said yes. This is what I want. I want these fuckers to go to jail. I don't want us to go to jail. I don't want us to get beat up. I want these fuckers to go to jail. So let's protest to get these fuckers in jail.
Not
And not ourselves.
Mic check.
check.
Let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
An investigation.
An investigation
In no way.
in no way
Means that they will go to jail.
means that they will go to jail.
In fact, if we actually look at all the evidence that we have, what happens from police investigations is that they will not go to jail. They will not have to work for a bit. At maximum. And they will still get paid. It's called paid administrative leave. That's what comes out of police investigations.
That's what comes out of
It's literally a vacation. The reason that they haven't beat us yet tonight is because they just spent 2 days beating, hospitalizing, breaking the bones of, and arresting our fellow occupiers. So I have no
intention of leaving.
that they spent, a good 5 hours
New
not breaking
Renaissance.
anyone's face. We should not be thankful for our rights. I don't think that's a fucking gift.
I don't think that's a
Fucking gift. That's not even right. And what they are doing now is threatening us with violence.
It's threatening us with violence.
They're having a nice little J of their own over there right now. Planning how to assault people right here. We need to not respond.
We need to not respond
to that kind of intimidation.
by
running away.
By running away!
Now let me clarify. I do not think that we should get arrested. But that is not the same thing. As immediately running away. When they threaten us. Like they did. Those other occupiers. We are part of Occupy.
You're very sensitive to violence. You were listening to what he said.
That's the Occupy shit.
He just did it in a very respectful manner.
And that means that sometimes the cops are going to come and kick you out. This isn't about police permission. It's not about state permission.
You will not remove these people without force. They will come to when they decide to remove them.
You need to stand your ground.
Mic check. How many people here would stand their ground?
Hell yeah!
Like, let's actually count.
The police will also count and notice who's put up their hand here.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a serious question. For all these radicals. How many of us do you want to see with their faces broken? How many of us do you want to see injured?
Bloody and on the ground.
So that tomorrow we don't come again. And do it all over again. Sometimes we can retreat to fight another day. And I think that nobody here wants to spend the night at the hospital and wake up in jail.
I have a friendly amendment.
Yes.
I'd be willing to leave if we got the following two things. Both in writing and on live stream. The officer dealing with us saying that an internal investigation will be done to try to uphold justice within the police department and its members. If we get this in writing and on live stream, I would be willing to leave if everyone else agrees to it.
Same here. The video's viral. There's guaranteed thousands of complaints already. People have seen it. They are complaining.
Can I do a point of clarification?
What is clarification?
So, the police have asked us exactly what, or told us, and threatened with violence, which I believe is called terrorism, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
We will not
So,
with terrorists.
two questions. Do we let the terrorists win? Question two. Did John Herb, Angela, Craig, Alice, and who am I forgetting? And then Stefan, well, yeah, Stefan later. Did they leave? Did they stand their ground, or did they leave?
They didn't either. They were attacked.
And to Mao's very relevant question,
When John
or
was
point.
arrested, the others did not leave. They stayed and tried to film and were systematically grabbed until there was not enough people within the reach for the police to grab.
The point Mao made about not wanting to see people have their faces cracked and be put in jail. I totally agree. But that goes back to point one. Do we let the terrorists win? That's always going to be the threat.
If we come back tomorrow and do it over again, and in the
that's
meantime,
another
we're going to have TV stations over here
Point three.
for a second day in a row.
Point three. Usually, the way you get tens of thousands of people to take to the streets is that these things snowball. Because they see a resolve and they see people willing to stick their necks out, and then they respond to the terrorists when they actually fulfill their dictates.
I'm not willing to fight. Wall Street. Exactly what happens on Wall Street. They saw your feet and they came out in solidarity.
And then the police beat those people. And then instead of getting a couple hundred more, they got thousands more. And then police were in a bind.
Yes. I have a word from Angela, and she says, so I have to scroll up.
Angela says something. Hold on.
1 second. Yes. Please tell them that no one else needs to get injured or arrested. And that's from Angela.
Angela said nobody needs to be hurt or arrested. Nobody else.
Hey, live stream. Hey, Angela. I'm
Uh,
here. Right back.
We do though. I care.
Hope you're feeling better.
She doesn't want what happened to her to happen to us.
I want to tackle.
All right.
I will stand by. Maybe bloody. I will not let you
Hey.
I will put my face. No way.
There's something that we were doing here, or rather where we were at Osgood. There's something that we were doing, and it wasn't about occupying. It wasn't about snowballing and taking a stand and not being tough. It wasn't about that. It wasn't about that. It was about preparing for a long-term process by which we could come up with real answers to real problems in the world. Taking a stand on behalf of answers that have not really worked out in the past is not enough. The most important thing is that we find a place to exist long-term to do what we were doing. In addition to that, we will go out and take stands somewhere. But we're not all radicals, and we don't all believe that the political, ideological statements that people make and go out and protest for are the answers. A lot of people came to Occupy Toronto because it was the one place, after having seen all the political groups of the last 30 years, finally there was a place where people were trying to really come up with something different. And any stands we take immediately are nothing compared to what we can come up with if we basically camp together for long enough to figure out what's going on in the world and what to do about it. So whatever we do right now, stay here as long as we want or not want. The most important thing is
what he's saying, so.
Get to a long-term location, and that means basically Osgood and out on University Avenue. But I'm not against staying here if people want to do that, but this is nothing compared to what we can do over there.
Yes, we need a home. We need a home.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
I really don't think such a place exists. If you look at the entire Occupy movement, where has anyone ever had a permanent long-term place where they're occupying public space?
Newfoundland.
Newfoundland is Newfoundland.
Well, there's a place.
Not many people care in Newfoundland, probably, that they're taking up public space. Whatever. Anyways, side point.
Well, they never stop. Well, there's a place.
Osgood Hall.
Osgood Hall.
I mean, why are we here? Are we here because Osgood Hall is a safe, permanent space to
We're here because
occupy?
they beat up our friends.
Are you shitting me?
We're here because they brutally beat up our friends.
You literally not only have to be born yesterday, you have to be born like today. And no, not even. I don't even understand how anyone could think that. That's impossible. And as for the police promising us the island at University, which I don't think is a very good logistical spot, they promised us when we were chained to the library yurt that we could move, if we got out before 4 p.m., they would allow us to move the library yurt to City Hall. Okay? I told people, don't believe them. Was that true at all for even half a second? Absolutely not. That's what we should think about any long-term space the police tell us we can have as long as we get out of the main space that we're actually occupying.
Sorry, point of information. Point of information. Davin Charney.
Davin Charney
has just texted. Said he will agree. To come down. And represent anyone tomorrow. Who's arrested. His number. Is 226-747. 2317.
2317.
Alright, I've got a pen. I'll start passing that around for anyone.
Mic check. Time is limited.
I got one of his cards.
So I have one thing to say. When they come to clear us, we have two options. One, we can stay here. And be forcibly removed. Or we can walk away. I think that we should. Make this decision as a group. So that we are coordinated. And not a chaotic shambles. Time is an issue here. I remind everybody that the reason why we're here is because of John Earp. Because of Angela. Craig, Allison, and Stefan. Thank you. I just want to say that if I was in hospital beaten up by the police, I would think to myself the same thing that Angela had just tweeted on live stream.
I would just say that Angela has just on live stream.
She appreciates that we're doing this. But at the same time, she cares enough. To let us know that any further arrests would escalate the situation. So I think strategic, graceful exit is the best option at this point. We can always go back tomorrow.
Let's go to Osgood Hall!
Let's go to college.
Okay, guess what? You really have to acknowledge we're doing this because we're being threatened with violence.
Absolutely.
Purely and only because we're being threatened with violence, which in any other scenario would be a crime, except a police officer cannot commit a crime.
Oh, of course not.
You know, it's just, it doesn't work that way. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
Hey, this whole thing is going viral around the world.
I don't
want to get beat up. But it's them hurting us. After this has gone viral. Means that Occupy Toronto. Will draw more people. Who are becoming aware of these things happening. And I'm willing to get beat up. In order to have more people. Come out and join us and other activities.
Not this.
Come out and join us and other
saying in the
activists.
chat.
This may be the time,
I'm not getting beat now.
that we have to really stand up and take chances like this.
So that
we can address these very serious issues. If it means more people will come, I'm willing to stand. Thank you.
You're not sure. We're not sure. We'll actually bring more people here.
I think we already accomplished that with them.
Yeah, it was the first thing.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say, if we're going to run with our tail between our legs, we should definitely put our tail between our legs and say, yeah, we're leaving because we're afraid of physical violence, a threat that is not so well veiled. It's thinly veiled. Only thinly. The other thing is, I mean, I'm totally gonna run. Totally gonna run away. So that's just me. But also, if I was getting ready to get the shit kicked out of me by a bunch of corrupt police officers, I'd want more surrounding witnesses than just ourselves. I feel like we're totally vulnerable, we're defenseless. I'd love to call the police and say I think I'm about to get beat up or chased around. But they're with a different police service.
Big time. They help free the West Memphis 3.
Yeah. You want to tell them to live stream after we're done speaking? Stick around, please.
People have cameras on their phones that work. It will go out and will get out.
Mic check!
Mic check!
Staying here does not mean you will definitely get the shit kicked out of you. When I was arrested at St. James, for not leaving, as much as I want to say, that the police did horrible, mean things that time, it was actually extremely pleasant. I was carried like a baby to a paddy wagon because I just stayed limp. I think if you take that course, you have a good chance. If live stream is on you,
They'll get smashed.
and the corporate media comes down, that you might be carried like a newborn baby. But I stress might. If we have people who film from the sidewalk, you should be in a relative safe zone. As far as how your arrest will go. We recently got a couple donations, pretty sizable. So our bank account is, as far as we're concerned, kind of flush as far as what our needs are from him.